And welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3, The Answer, aka Episode I guess. Last time, we made it to our next boss fight, the first of Antenora in FES, so we may as well start the video with that. We are actually going to have quite a bit in between the Reload boss fight and the FES one, but that is okay, that is okay. I'd rather just get this taken care of, and then take care of all my FES Montage nonsense before we get into a slightly meatier amount of content with Persona 3 Reload. I know you can do this if you try. For this battle, we've got quite the loadout of enemies. We've got the Brave Wheel off to the left there. I'll give you 3 guesses what that, week 2. The Ice Raven off to the right. Give you 3 guesses what that's, week 2. And then the Judgment Sword in the middle. What we're going to do here is, let's see. We are going to assign Yukari and Metis to the Judgment Sword there, as he is weak to wind. I'm scanning the Ice Raven over there so that, eventually, Junpei will know to knock it down with fire spells. Gonna put Junpei in heal and support so that we have access to Rakukaja support. And then I'm going to go into Bufala on the Brave Wheel here. As you'd probably guess, all of these enemies have access to the relevant elemental dodge skills, so be mindful of that in order to offset the potential for that to be a problem. Thankfully, we got Nada Taishi here, so we can just Masukukaja up the party and minimize the chance that we will get any unfortunate misses. Alright, and Yukari is just going through Magaru here, which, interesting that she went for that, evade win, and unfortunately that actually gives the Brave Wheel his turn, which is not very desirable. In fact, that is very undesirable. Yukari, why did you go for Magaru? You have Garula. That's very unfortunate. Luckily, we're going to get the Rakukaja from Junpei guaranteed, so it's not the end of the world, but that's actually very irritating that she made that mistake. And did I scan the Brave Wheel by mistake? That's unfortunate. Alright, bit of a rough start here. Oh no, that's very bad. But that does get us all back on our feet. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, I scanned the Brave Wheel like an idiot. What am I doing here? Yukari, I assigned your target. Why did you do that? Well, that's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Let's get over to Parvati here. And let's get the Judgment Sword scanned next. We will Bufala this guy. There we go. And fortunately, let me see here. Yeah, we have access to beat chains, so we're gonna need to use that, because that was a very unfortunate thing to happen at the start there. Luckily, this will keep us in pretty strong standing. Hopefully, Yukari doesn't go for Magaru again. No! Yukari, why? I assigned your target so that you wouldn't do that. You missed anyway, so... Like, what is the game plan here, girl? What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? We're gonna have to put her into knockdown after this, or even heal and support, although honestly, unless we take some damage, she's probably not going to do that, so bit of a rough start to this, but that's fine. Junpei going for the Agilao here. Unfortunately, went for it on the Judgment Sword, which is not that helpful. Zyanga on him is fine. Moragion is not very desirable, but we did get the lucky dodge there. Bufala is good, because we just completely no-sell that. Okay, now let's get the Ice Raven set, scanned. We're gonna put Yukari in knockdown here so that she isn't being, well, actually, no, I should put her in heal and support so she can heal herself. Let's go for the Bufala again. Might almost be worth it to put Junpei onto... there comes the evade ice. Within parameters, but still kind of annoying. Actually, I should have put Metis into knockdown, making quite a few execution errors here. That's okay. Did I forget to change Junpei's tactics again? Well, he could use a medical powder here, which would work out fine for us anyway. Having some pretty rough goings of this battle so far. Of course, some of it's coming down to execution errors. The slash, the physical attacks here are actually pretty beneficial. Fire break? Okay. Now, let's change our tactics up slightly. Let's have Junpei go into knockdown so that he's knocking down the Raven, and doing physical attacks on something that I can knock down. Ditto for Metis there. Okay, and they're all scanned at this point. We'll do the Bufala on the Brave Wheel here. Hopefully get the hit. We don't have our accuracy bonus anymore. There we go. That's good. But what I can do... is... I can do a diorama to make sure that Metis does not get taken out. Our Ma-Rakukaja is also going to be expiring soon. So yeah, not going to be able to enjoy any of those hit rate bonuses, but thankfully all of the enemies go after us, so this should be perfectly fine. Even if I don't get any more knockdowns here, which doesn't look like I'm getting that one. We might get the Ice Raven. We should still be in good standing because the wheel is not going to be able to do anything. I'm only really worried about Aegis's weakness getting hit. If we're lucky, Junpei will get a crit here, but I'm not banking on that. He didn't even hit altogether. Ma-Rakunda is fine. We can just have Junpei get rid of that with Ma-Rakukaja. Alright, so the goal here, or the play here, this time, is to get Ma-Sukukaja back up. Junpei, we're just going to have on heal and support for the next couple turns in order to deal with that debuff. So let's do the Bufala on the Brave Wheel. Hopefully get the hit here. Evade Ice does give it a flat 15% chance to evade, but we managed to buck the odds on that one. I was willing to take that risk. Let's get Ma-Sukukaja back up so we're not just playing with risk in play anymore. Not the best way for this fight to go, but I wasn't exactly playing intelligently. Hopefully Yukari decides to heal Junpei instead of going for an attack. She's going for an attack, but at least it's not Magaru that time. I'm fine with that. She missed, but Metis should get the follow-up hit. It'd be very unfortunate if we missed twice. Oh, no! I had to say something, didn't I? Oh, well. Let's see what this round of combat has for us. Mazianga is annoying, but not the end of the world. What's he gonna do? I mean, the Ice Raven. Mabufala. Yeah, that is doubly unfortunate. But Yukari will get back up to heal herself there, or use an idea, whatever. Now, Metis can knock down 2 of the enemies, so this isn't as bad a situation as it looks, but she does need to hit. Okay, that's 1 hit, very good. Get the Garula on that guy. We get him out of the picture. That prevents Yukari from getting knocked down. Very good. And the Gigantic Fist, here it comes. First opportunity to see this in action. Whiff, but that's okay. Ooh, Junpei's still in heal and support. Okay, so there is a chance that Aegis will get knocked down here, which wouldn't be ideal, but we can manage if that happens. Okay, luckily, going for an attack on Junpei. Let me see here. We will have Junpei go to knockdown now. I can't rely on him to do the Ma-Rakukaja when there's so much damage around. That was what I was hoping he would do, but decided to not be very agreeable in that regard. The Ice Raven has taken barely any damage because we've just been missing so many hits against it. What I'll do with Aegis here is because she also has Ma-Rakukaja, we'll use that to get it. We'll use her to get that set up. Huh, that's weird. Oh, I get it. I lost track of my sequencing there. It hadn't purged on everyone else, so it just persisted. Dang. Alright, hopefully Junpei gets this knockdown here. His fire affinity is back to normal, so he doesn't have to worry about getting knocked flat on his ass. Oh, man. It only has dodge fire, too. Unfortunate. Luckily, this time I'm not on, not a Taishi. Not a Taishi having that ice weakness is pretty unfortunate, but it is not the end of the world. Okay, go for the Bufala again. Once we can get one of these guys defeated, we're looking pretty good. Okay, so that's a miss there. Just something that we have to deal with until I can get Ma-Sukukaja back up on everyone. It might even be worth it to use an Agility Sutra rather than switching to not a Taishi at this phase. There we go, okay. Luckily I can count on Metis pretty often. We had 2 chances to hit all these weaknesses here. Excellent, excellent. Go for the Gigantic Fist. Honestly, if we get the knockdown here, which we didn't, but Junpei has a chance to, I might actually just go for an all-out attack here, because it would probably take out those 2 guys. As a matter of fact, yeah, we're just gonna run the risk on an all-out attack. Life is fun with the risks involved. There we go. Ah, one of them survived. That's going to result in a little bit of damage tacked onto Aegis there, but it's manageable. There is no great condition to benefit from, so we cannot rely on Aegis to get a free turn, potentially. Not that I ever really got that to work in the journey, truth be told. It never really came together for me the way I would have liked. Alright, that guy's out of the picture. And now Metis will just go for the gigantic fist spam, which is good enough, honestly. Do I want Junpei to, or do I want to go for the all-out attack here, or should I just go for an Agi Dine with Okuni Nushi? Well, it looks like I'm not getting much choice in that matter. Luckily, Yukari should be able to treat herself just fine. Now that the rest of these guys are taken out, we're kind of just having a victory lap here. I'm not too concerned about anything particularly bad happening at this point. The dodge fires are pretty annoying, but we can work around that. I will refrain from going for the all-out attack if Junpei gets the knockdown here. Just because it would probably be... Ooh! I won't refrain from an all-out attack on this. There we go! That's beautiful. Very good luck on that one. Alright. Oh, Junpei, if you could just defeat it with a basic Agilao, that would be awesome. Go for it, my guy. There we go! Not the cleanest run of that battle. There was a couple of strategic mistakes made there that I could have definitely done without, but we got through the battle regardless, so that's the most I can hope for, right? And we'll have an opportunity to recover our HP and SP. Also a good amount of experience funneled into Saki Mitama. Going into the next battle, we'll finally have access to Diorama on Aegis. And hey, we got 3 beat chains to replace the one that I use, so all is looking good there. Let's take care of our business and reload now, and when we come back to FES, it'll be in montage form. So, as far as the situation goes in Reload, we're a little low on HP, well, not HP, but SP for Aegis, so we're probably due for a revisit to the dorm. And besides, I need to sell some stuff in order to buy back Black Frost, so that he's kicking around in our inventory, there to power up our ice spells. However, something else will be awaiting us in the dorm when we get there.
Oh, there you are, Aegis. Do you have a minute? Metis wanted me to pass on a message to you. She said she wanted to show you something, and asked if you could come to Polonia Mall.
Well, absolutely. I can go see what Metis wants.
Perfect! Oops. Sorry. I just got a little too excited. Anyway, you should get going. She's been waiting for you.
At Fuuka-san's insistence, I made my way to Polonia Mall. Metis asked to meet with me, but I don't see her anywhere.
Sister! Apologies for the wait. Oh, I mean... Sorry, did I keep you waiting?
Oh, well, what did you need, Metis?
Huh? That's not in the script. Did I not follow proper etiquette? I read a book at the dorm that illustrated how two people in uniform rendezvous. Is it not custom for those of similar age to don matching clothes and do all sorts of activities together? I thought it'd be a shame should these outfits only be associated with exploration and combat. So I was hoping the two of us could make some more pleasant memories in them while we still have the chance.
Oh, well, you know what? That's a wonderful idea. Why don't we get to it?
You really think so? Well, in that case, you should wear your uniform too! No, you must. Please!
Faced with Metis' enthusiasm, I returned to the dorm to change into my school uniform.
Is this what true bliss feels like? Now that we're finally matching, I can't afford to squander even a single second of our time together. We must hurry and seize the opportunity to make new memories. Please take the lead, sister. What kinds of things are supposed to be done in school uniforms?
Well, there's studying to gain knowledge, drinking coffee to refine charisma, and singing karaoke to build tenacity. But since we're just trying to have fun, why don't we work on our courage a little bit?
I wasn't sure what to make of karaoke, but if If it requires tenacity, doesn't that mean it's dangerous? Is the mundane world a more hazardous place than I had originally thought? What a surprising discovery! Well then, no time to waste. Let's get going! Just me and my sister, in our school uniforms!
We spent time at Polonium Mall until Metis was fully satisfied. So yeah, some additional scenes have been added with Metis to flesh out her character a little bit more and give her more interactions with her sister. Isn't that grand? No upgrades acquired from that, but not everything needs to have a mechanical benefit. Speaking of mechanical, Metis, we might need to work on a less ostentatious headpiece for you so you blend in just a tad better. I guess has a bit more of a low profile to her gear. Anyway, I need to sell some crap. You know your buddy, the kid with the hat? Seemed real down about something. Then all of a sudden he was bouncing off the walls. What was that what it was like to be young? It was so long ago. Sorry, I got distracted for a second there. What'll it be today? I'm guessing he's talking about Junpei and not Shinji. We've got two friends with hats, but Junpei sounds like the more bouncy one there. Anyways, good amount of money gotten from selling all the junk that we got, which will more than allow me to afford back Black Frost. Over here, the flower shop lady. Welcome to Rafflesia, the Polonium Mall branch. Your seeds from the other day have grown splendidly. Here you are. Whenever you return from the abyss of time, your seeds will have grown. Let me see. We may as well plant one of this Amaronian sprouts and another healthy tomato sprout and just let those go. More items to be farmed from planting all these delightful little seeds. Anything else I want to grab while I am here? I do need to make sure I have enough money to actually afford Black Frost, but it would probably do well if I bought a few ailment cures. We've been kind of getting badly worked over by status ailments, so I'll just take care of that and then we'll be back in business. As I was moving along and fighting some battles, Eligor finally hit the level to learn Life Aid. Since I'm never going to use Diorama with him, I'll just chuck that out. Eventually, I'm going to want to fuse him into Giri Makala so we can make something that has the full set of auto buffs and has Life Aid on top of that. So if the battle does not get to Aegis's turn, then we'll get a little bit of SP back for her. In fact, if I come across a one-way teleporter, I'll probably make it a priority to do that right away. Keeping up with the montage nature of this little interlude, we've got a new enemy here, Hell Knights. These guys have 504 HP, Nullify, Slash, and Pierce skills, repel Elec, and are weak to wind. Fortunately, Swift Strike still works just fine. Unfortunately, that did not actually get the knockdown, but hey, that is why it is beneficial that we have Yukari along here. Go for it, girl. With that, that should be a pretty good bit of damage, but again, we're dealing with the wimpy reload all-out attacks here, so we'll probably need Metis here to set up another one for us. Fortunately, she doesn't really use her SP for too much else during exploration, so just cheaply hitting these weaknesses with her single-target spells, that is more than enough. Once Metis gets access to Ma Tarukaja in place of Tarukaja, though, she will probably start burning through her SP a lot quicker, because that, in addition to charge, is pretty expensive. Ma Tarukaja 24 SP, charge 30 SP, ridiculously expensive in this game.
Oh, hello.
Alright, cleared out another Monad door there, so we've got more items to collect. Some Bracers of Treason, a dress shirt of treason, which of course Yukari is going to ask if she can wear. We'll take a look at that and see what it can do for her. As always, I'm not gonna harp on it this time. That's an EXP booster. Not terrible, but not really necessary right now, so we'll ignore that. Always could use more emeralds, especially if you're looking to get some stat boosters. The best stat boosters require emeralds. We got a new weapon for Koromaru here, so let's see what this one is capable of doing for us. Sorry, switching my controller out here, I have buttons that I am unused to, so I gotta remember. I've also been playing a lot of different games recently, so all my stuff is all mixed up. Let's see. Honestly, the shift boost is probably more useful than the auto Tarukaja on Koromaru. we can have Fuuka just team buff us when we need it. Some Sandals of Treason. Again, Yukari, let me see what they can actually do for you. I said I wasn't gonna harp on it, and then I just did. I am such a hypocrite. Well, some Fire Evasion is nothing to shake a stick at. We may as well use it while it has any potential to be useful, in lieu of having anything better to give her. Next up, I went back to do some fusion. Unfortunately, fusing Eligor into Giri-Mikala would just get us, a rather underwhelming Clotho, so instead I took a Lachesis that I had picked up through Shuffle Time and fused it into Giri-Mikala to create Neat Augur, just to pass around Life Aid to more things, and this will actually allow me to make Quetzalcoatl, who very fortunately has Innate Growth 3. Very good thing to pick up. He also learns single target boost, so there's just a lot of fringe perks to getting this guy created. I may as well set him up with some buffs and debuffs for us. We'll also carry over Life Aid. Don't need Growth 2, so what else would be nice to carry on this guy? He wouldn't be a particularly good Pierce user, so I don't think I'll go with that. Let's just go with... Actually, you know what? No, I don't really have anything better to give him than Pierce Boost, so I may as well just give him that. So yeah, but Quetzalcoatl will be fused around a lot just to get Growth 3 onto things. That is so useful. He comes in with the default. We can just repeatedly pull him out of the compendium as an easy way to get that fused around. While exploring, I came across another new enemy here, so may as well cut to this. Liberating Idols. 469 HP to burn through, they repel ice, nullify wind, and are weak to elect skills. Not anything Koromaru is capable of exploiting, so we'll just go with a standard tried and true Swift Strike, fish for the crit, which we did not get, but hey, that's okay. Every now and again, we might also get lucky with Yukari, deciding to waste a turn here. I was not able to get the first strike on this, so we will have to suffer through a couple of attacks from them. Going to go for Deathbound from Metis here, as has slightly better critical odds than her Herculean strike. So that is better for just setting up potential shifts or knockdowns, rather than just going for the better raw damage on Herculean strike, since we do have that strike boost via Metis' weapon. Now let me see here. Yeah, we can just go for Thoth here, get the Mazionga out, set them up for the knockdown, and this should finish them both off. Yeah, this will be more than enough. I was also able to get a Moon card from the previous Monad door, so we are back to being fully healed after a decent chunk of exploration. This is actually the second time I'm drawing Anubis from Shuffle Time. The first time, my stock was just full of stuff that I actually wanted to keep, so I had no choice but to chuck them. Continue our exploration, we found an Ethereal Hand, our rare form for this floor. This guy just has neutral resistances to everything. He did set up a Makarakaran on himself, so I'm not going to be able to take him down that way, unfortunately. But I have plenty of other options for dealing good damage to this guy, so I'm not super pressed about it. Once again, I was not able to get the first strike, so we are going to have to suffer a few initial strikes here. I'm also going to have Yukari use Medea here, just in the interest of getting her Theurgy gauge charged up, because that is an easy option for dealing with the rare form. Remember that it is not going to be able to wall out Theurgies via Makarakar, and this will just get through no problem. Not going to be the best damage possible, because we don't have Mata Rukaja up on Yukari, but that is not the end of the world. It'll still be more than enough damage for my purposes. If we're lucky, we might be able to finish this off with a multi-targeting physical attack from Aegis come this turn. If I even have any good options. I haven't really been able to set up for good physical attackers at this point. No opportunities to pick up Slash Boost or Strike Boost, mostly because I just haven't really been looking for it at this stage. We'll just switch over to Okuninushi and do Deathbound here to try and fish for a critical hit. And bad luck on my part, he got away. That's not the end of the world, though. So that's all you really need to see for this encounter, then. Also got another set of Monad doors to go through on this floor. So I'm going 2 for 2 on Monad. Takes quite a bit of time to get through them, even with our improving damage dealing options. Alright, and that is another Monad door cleared. Man, I am having trouble actually clearing these relatively quickly. This video, or this specific recording for reload is already 45 minutes deep, and I might actually have to just do a quick FES montage after the boss fight, and then call it a video here, because I don't really want these recording sessions to go on longer than an hour. I think that's a little excessive, so man, it's just unfortunate. We just don't have any sauce for our damage right now. It's really unfortunate. You do kind of struggle to win fights quickly at this stage of the game in episode Aegis, because you really just don't have the great damage dealing options you'd have at the same relative point in the journey, and it's a little frustrating, to say the least. Just one funny thing to comment on here is that torso of treason that we got for Metis actually has strike boost on it, making it redundant with the Celtis that we have, and also with the other acts of treason that we have, because that also has strike boost. I am flush with options for boosting Metis' strike damage.
Everyone ready?
And after quite a few delays, those Monad passages taking me forever, man. We're finally ready for the boss and reload. Unfortunately, I'm so deep in the recording at this point, I'm probably just going to have to do a quick montage of FES content after that, and then we'll just immediately be snapping back to end the video. I wasn't expecting this to take this long. Anyways, we've got Frivolous Maya here. This guy absorbs physical skills and nullifies light and dark skills. Not exactly desirable for Koromaru, but we do have other options for Koromaru to put in some work here. I'm just going to have him use his almighty Virus Breath to open the fight, since that is still some damage that he can hit this with. And we will see some summons coming out from here, such as the Jotun of Blood. Let me see here. Is this guy in my notes? I didn't see him on the compendium that I was using. Looks like this add-on might not be there. Not that that's a big deal. We can just figure out what this guy has going as we get through the fight. We'll just hit him with a Pierce attack to start. It would just be beneficial for us to try and figure out what this guy has got going on before going crazy with our attacking options here. Metis, you can just go for a strike attack on him, and we are going to play it a bit more cautiously here. I'm going to switch over to Okuni Nushi and get Ma Rakukaja set up on everybody, and I may as well have Aegis also go for Ma Tarukaja when she has a chance. Let's do a full analysis on this guy, just to get Fuuka's theurgy charged a little bit, as well as this guy to figure out what he is weak to. Light skills. Not exactly the most desirable thing for him to be vulnerable to in the world, but that should still work out fine. One nice thing about Virus Breath is that it'll use up a ton of SP for Koromaru, so it should get him charging his theurgy just a little bit faster. That Matarunda is actually really, really annoying, but not anything we can't handle, so let me just hit this guy. We're gonna go for a crit on him. I want to use Tarukaja on Metis here, so that I can get her theurgy juiced up just a bit quicker. Go for Ma Tarukaja on the group here, so everybody is dealing the full damage, and Aegis and Metis are dealing boosted damage. Let's go for Virus Breath once more. My goal is to get Power Howling fired off with Koromaru, so that we can get a nice big boost to everybody's outgoing damage. The shock is a bit unfortunate, but not anything we can't handle. There goes our Ma Rakukaja buff. What I'm gonna have Yukari do here is just use a Vitagold on Koromaru, so that he's able to act when his turn comes back around again. So let's see here. Probably just be for the best. I'm just gonna have Metis try to fish for a crit there. We should be fine with our other options. What I'm gonna do now is I actually am going to exploit that light weakness. So let's switch over to Aerobus here and hit this with Koga, and then we can shift over to Koromaru. We can use that opportunity to have him throw up Power Howling, because this shift should give him the theurgy charge. Ah, man, not quite, but he should get it when his turn comes around naturally next turn, so that still works out for us. There we go. Accuracy and evasion has reverted, but I am not overly pressed about that. We got the Power Howling up. We've got the additional damage on Aegis and Metis now, so what we can do is we can utilize Justice and Orgia mode to deal big damage to both of these guys. Ufudine coming out from the Jotun of Evil here. Not overly pressed, or maybe I should be. Oh dear. I forgot that Aerobus is weak to ice. Fortunately, he does eventually get resist ice. Marakunda is a little annoying, but we should be able to offset that in due time. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to definitely have Yukari go for the diorama on Metis. We need that extra bit of healing juice here, just to make sure we don't get taken out. When Koromaru's turn comes around, I probably have some sutras that I can utilize to mitigate incoming damage from the enemies. What we're going to do now is hit Orgia mode with Metis. With Power Howling and Tarukaja up on her, this should be some pretty nice damage. Excellent stuff. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Now, I guess we'll be getting back on our feet. Fortunately, we'll be switching off of something that is vulnerable to ice skills now. We're going to switch on over to Quetzalcoatl, just because he has the Pierce boost, and he's relatively high level, so he should have the strength to get, or a relatively decent amount of strength, to get good damage out of Justice. And remember, we got the Power Howling on it, so even if we don't get the crit here, it's still going to be better damage than our other Theurgy options. Although the crit, it's especially good damage. There we go. Bit of scary in the midpoint of that fight. For winning that battle, we get the Empress Taro. And, just want to see how much experience we get there. Good amount of levels spread around on multiple characters and multiple personae. Fast heal on Kukulin there. Soul Shift on Thoth. Fire Break, I don't really care for the break spells in this version of the game. Break spells are honestly pretty situational in the other versions of the game. Null Dizzy is a pretty useless skill for Metis. She has no weakness to exploit, so the only way she's ever going to end up down is if she gets hit with a crit. And even then, it's pretty unlikely that she will get downed afterwards, since the chance of a neutral hit or dizzied afterward, the chance of a neutral hit dizzying a character is relatively low, so I am just going to completely nope out of Null Dizzy. Sister? That last battle, I wasn't in the way, was I? I didn't do anything I shouldn't have, right? You were fine, Metis. Look at the damage you did to those two enemies with Orgia mode. Yeah, everything was totally okay. I have to prove that I'm not just a kid. Sister, I'll show you what I can do. You'll see. Yeah, one wonderful thing about Koromaru having Power Howling now is that is a way to really juice up the power of our Theurgy skills, even if we can't get great damage out of our normal physical skills, since we don't really have a rich number of choices for getting damage-boosting passives passed around to the various characters. So, yeah, that's, no, I'm not going to give you Gaia's Grace, Metis. Well, actually, hold on. Since we have the, armor that gives her strike boost, maybe this would actually be pretty good. Increased damage on downed enemy? Actually, that should work out pretty nicely, so you know what? I will give her... Never mind, don't listen to me. Alright, so, I believe Gaia's Grace was something, Elizabeth was looking for. So why don't we hand that over to her, or show it off to her, and once we do this... No, not the Velvet Room, dang it! My positioning was just a tad off there. Looking into the door, we get less of a reward and more of a gift from Elizabeth to us. Oh my goodness, man, I am just misinputting everything here. Can you tell I've been rotating through multiple controllers at this stage of the LP? It's been ridiculous. That's what I like about my PlayStation 2 there. It's always got the one controller that's always going to be the same until that one inevitably breaks. Okay, Elizabeth, I wanted to speak directly to you. So, we look at this and give her a Cap of Eminence. We get the Book of Samek, which gives us an additional card pull in Major Arcana card pull in Shuffle Time. And then Gaia's Grace, which gets us quality Nihil Ore. Now, let's do a little montage of events in Persona 3 FES, and since I'm not going to be doing too much exploring and reload this time, why don't we, after that is over, just go check out those gift events or give those gifts to our various party members, and get the events related to those real quick. I think it's time we did at least one upgrade for our Persona stock in FES, so I'm going to take Clotho here, and I'm actually going to turn her into Quetzalcoatl. Unfortunately, I'm not having much luck carrying any buffs or debuffs onto Quetzalcoatl. I have to use up Black Frost and Natataishi for this, but I'm not super pressed about that. We're still in Antinora, so there is a chance I will get them back from Shuffle Time, so I think this is worth it. Natataishi in particular comes in with what I'd want to have anyway, so if I see him again, he's a slam pick. So let's get a slightly better wind user here, one that is due to learn Garudine. Eventually we can fuse him back into Atropos and continue that line, though we're probably gonna skip over Lachesis. Or, you know, I could just get rid of these junk Floros and Rajanaga to get Natataishi. That works too. And for the next leg of exploration in the Abyss of Time in FES, I'll be tagging in Ken and Koromaru, as they'll be quite good for the next section. To say nothing of how they're just generally good for exploration, because they allow us to cover every single weakness. Yep, you're in, boy. Go in the place of Junpei. You're a much better fighter caster than he is. And getting right into the nitty-gritty, we immediately got a bunch of new enemies over here, so let's take a look at these guys. We got Regal Mother, Grieving Tiara, and Stasis Giant. Let me see here. The Regal Mother is 322 HP. They nullify Ice and Light, absorb Wind, and are weak to Dark skills. Good thing we have Koromaru along. The Grieving Tiara over here nullifies Fire and is just weak to Ice, while the Stasis Giant off to the left here, this guy is 322 HP, weak to Slash and Ice skills. Very interesting combo. Absorb Strike and nullifies Elect and Wind. What we're going to want to do here is put Metis into Neo Orgia mode. We'll just put Ken and Koromaru on full assault. And with Aegis, we can switch over to Parvati and just deal some good ice damage to these guys over here. Unfortunately, I was not able to upgrade Thoth into Dionysus, which was what I was really hoping for now that I hit level 48. I just don't really have good fusion options for that. But hopefully we can find some. You might want to look up the recipe for that as well. Let me see, what does the Regal Mother do if I hit her with ice again? Yeah, she just nullifies it, so you know what? Just to get these guys taken care of, I am just going to Ma Bufala. This should be enough to take out the Stasis Giant and the Tiara. There we go. I'm just being mindful with that because I didn't get the first strike here, so she has the very full opportunity to cause some problems here, like using Hamon. Thankfully, she did not get Metis there. Fuuka was just a little too late with the scan there in order to help out Koromaru. Had Koromaru known that Mudon would have been the way to go, he would have gone for it.
I must protect my sister.
No shuffle time off of that one, I'm afraid, but some pretty good experience. I would just like to say while we're going through, we're already getting recycled aesthetics across both games, and I do think it's a bit disappointing that the individual zones of the Abyss of Time don't really have the same diversity in biomes as, like, going to a new section of Tartarus, which, I mean, I guess makes sense since we're much more frequently changing locales, but also is just a little disappointing. I wish a little bit more world design was applied to these proc-gen dungeons. At the same time, when you get stuff like Haraba in the main game, maybe it's not a bad thing. And we got another couple new enemies here. Let me see. We've got Desirous Mayas here. These guys are just weak to fire, absorb ice skills, and nullify light and dark. Only got 305 HP to work with. Got Phantom Masters in the back here. These guys repel Elec and are weak to wind skills. Oh, whoops! I thought I was on scan, but that was just a basic attack. Whoopsie, that might cause some problems. We shouldn't be too bad off, though. Sometimes mistakes like that happen. I intended to do the scan there. Not exactly one of my better moments. Luckily, Koromaru does some wonderful, wonderful damage. I do kind of want to stick to, what is it? What I have equipped for my persona, which is Rangda. I still want to get Matarunda online. Luckily, with all that damage, Koromaru should be able to finish these guys off. Beautiful stuff. He's a good boy. And we've got another set of mages here. As always, these guys are weak to fire and absorb ice skills. Conveniently, Rangda is proficient in fire, so we'll be able to just knock these guys down with her and call it a day on this fight. They have 314 HP, so as is typical for things in Persona 3 FES, an all-out attack after knocking them all down, more than enough to just seal the deal on this fight. There are things that will not fall to a single attack, but I usually do not go out of my way to actually fight them. They're definitely not worth the time. And yet another new enemy here, we've got the Death Seeker. This guy has 314 HP, nullifies fire, weak to light, and repels dark. Nothing too special, so we can just pelt him with the stuff that he is not resistant to, and hopefully deal well enough there. We do have the light there, but Ken knows full well that a pierce attack will finish him off. Not that that really helped Ken keep his balance, I'm afraid. It's okay, Ken, you'll get another chance to run it back. And yet another new enemy. You know, I'm just cutting between multiple new enemies, so I don't really know why I feel the need to say that. It's just a good way to begin the battle. Anyways, we've got the Death Dice here. These guys nullify fire, weak to ice skills, repel wind skills, resist light and dark, 318 HP to burn through. They aren't fully resistant to Zeo skills, so I may as well just pop off with one of those. I do want to remember to put Metis into full assault, since when she's on Act Freely, she is all about what Mitsuru was about. And that is spamming Marin Karen rather needlessly. Herculean Strike is going to do quite the number on these guys, considering I got the shock there. Goodness gracious. Next on the docket here, we've got a Wicked Turret. Let's see. These guys repel physical skills, resist fire, and are weak to Elec and Light. We'll definitely want to get the scan on them. Unfortunately, I don't quite have access to Ma Zionga with Thoth yet. I'm not too pressed about the dot or the reflect there. Thoth is immune to what he's putting out, so you don't have to worry too much about suffering any indignities if he gets hit with that. Good work, Metis. Cruel attack coming out from Ken, which, yeah, he's picking a bad option there. It happens sometimes, it happens. To the best of us, to the best of us. I've been there, Ken. We've all seen me be there. It's a little embarrassing, to say the least, to say the least. The logic was sound enough, though. He was knocked down, so Cruel attack would have done some good damage, had Ken just not had it bounce back at his face. And that is the deal sealed on yet another one. And we've got a pretty big enemy here to spice things up a little bit. We got the Red Sigil. These guys have 822 HP, absorb fire and elect, weak to ice, as you'd probably expect, and nullify light skills. So let's hit the Red Sigil with a scan right there, and then just send him to the ground with Buffalo real quick. With Parvati backing it, theoretically with Parvati backing it, some wonderful damage would be inbound. Okay, that's just rude. Come on, get this guy down. Alright, thankfully the scan came on through before Koromaru went for any kind of attack there. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's go for the Buffalo once again. Please do not waste my SP here. I need to conserve it if I want what is it? Cool Breeze to work as well as possible. I'm actually going to go for another Buffalo double tap. It's a little bit risky, but I'm going to let Metis try to knock this guy down. This could easily backfire, but I'm not that concerned about it. There we go. And the all-out attack should finish this guy off. Again, going for the risky play there. If I really wanted to win this with a bit more comfort involved, I probably should have refrained from doing a double tap with Buffalo there. But where's the fun in that?
This ability is special. Even I don't know what it will do. It has its pros and cons. It's kind of hard to explain. But it has the potential to change the outcome of the battle. Please let me know when you would like to use it.
Fuuka sure is right when she says the Oracle has a chance to change the outcome of the battle. In the answer, because Fuuka starts well below the level where she would normally learn the Oracle, we actually have pretty good odds of hearing her dialogue for it. In the journey, you kinda need to be keeping yourself relatively low level if you want to hear this dialogue, so hey, a new opportunity to hear something we didn't before. Gotta love it. And we are just proving to be rich with new enemies here. We've got the Dark Eagles. These guys are weak to elect skills, nullify wind skills, and have 309 HP. Nothing too fancy. I'm still trying to get some SP back off of Cool Breeze, so I'm just gonna let my team get to work on this. I'll have Metis do her giant fist there. I was hoping that the scan would come through, because Ken is on knockdown currently, so he would actually go for getting these guys, you know, actually knocked down. Koromaru has gained access to Agidai now, which is beautiful damage, especially with the Agni bracers equipped, so wonderful stuff to see coming from Koromaru there. Let's see. We should probably be able to defeat these things before they get a chance to go. He's got Piercing Attack this one down, and then Koromaru was just gonna nuke this thing with Agidai. Look at him go. We do need to be a little conservative with Koromaru, though. He does not have much SP to throw around, and with Agidai at his disposal, it's getting a little expensive to keep nuking things with fire spells. But it is just wonderful to see that much power coming out from the Pooch. His training has paid off, and it's going to come very in handy for the next boss battle.
That reaction again. Was it in the form of a person? What does this mean? It feels just like a human does. But there couldn't be anyone here.
And with that, we've reached the end of our little FES montage. Once again, I've made it to the checkpoint, had to go through yet another 8 floors of action before a 9th floor checkpoint. There's, not exactly the most inspired, layout for Antinora here, as far as progression goes. So, with that, we will be poised for another boss fight in the next FES video, or the next video for FES. But that's neither here nor there. Just wanted to fit in this little bit of montage to show what I was doing, and now we can return to finishing things up in Reload. Alright, our first gift can be turned over to Fuuka Yamagishi. Oh, Aegis, would you like to study together? I like how I said Fuuka's full name there, just because I'm doing the whole line of sight like, just line of sight is putting that right into my brain. I gotta say the full name. We found that math workbook in the Abyss of Time, didn't we? I just figured that in times like these, it's nice to have something familiar to fall back on. Should I spend time with Fuuka-san? Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks. I actually invited Metis too. She said she was interested in what high schoolers study. Shall we go then?
Could it
Huh.
be?
This is the first time I've witnessed a school student fulfilling their educational obligations. Why do you write out all the calculations involved instead of just the answer? It's inefficient. You know, I said the same things to my teacher all the time. Not in quite those words, because I was like 8 when I was getting roasted for that, but, you know, like, to me, I guess you can prove that you know how to solve the problem correctly. So providing the answer isn't considered sufficient proof that you know how to solve the problem correctly? Did I say something wrong? We should just let Fuuka work. I think this is throwing her off her game a little bit. If you say so. I'm sorry, it's just that this one is really difficult. Actually, I think it's because just finding the answer isn't the important part. What? But isn't that the goal of the assignment? Well, that's part of it, but I think the point is to learn the process. It's about knowing which formulas or techniques will help you solve the problem. And once you know all that, finding the solution is easy, even when you start on another problem with different numbers. I see. So studying is about acquiring specific mindsets.
Sister!
Fuuka-san is a good teacher, isn't she, sister? She makes things so easy to understand. Yes, absolutely. In fact, I dare say she's the brains of the team.
Do you really think so?
I don't know about that, but I appreciate the compliment. Oh, and also, I think it's fun to write out the calculations. It's like I'm having a conversation. How do I explain it? When I figure out an answer, I feel like I understand the intent of the person who wrote the problem. For example, I can see when they're trying to mislead me, or I can tell when they want me to use a certain formula. If I can figure out what the problems are getting at, I feel like I'll be more prepared for the exams. Couldn't this apply to my navigation too? I think there are actually a lot of similarities. And talking with us seems to have helped Fuuka-san come up with something. Fuuka regains her weakness buffer ability. Couldn't remember if the first one was mitigator or buffer. And not a super helpful ability, though it probably would have come in handy in the previous battle when we got hit with that ice skill. But hey. So studying helps with exploration. I suppose school must reinforce a rather intense regimen. Oh, sorry, I may have given you the wrong idea. Oh, Metis. It kind of reminds me of Elizabeth in a way, although somehow even more lost on what the nature of reality is. I mean, at least Elizabeth is more familiar with vague concepts, and this is all just completely new to Metis here. Speaking of Metis, sister, do you have some time right now? There's something I want to show you. Should I spend time with Metis? Of course, of course. Hey, remember that thing we found in the abyss, that strange cup-like object with a hole? Amada-san actually taught me how to use it. Come, I'll show you.
Oh?
I comprehend. My nerves are killing me. All I did was mention the drip coffee maker. Why is this happening to me?
How shocking.
So that's how you assemble a beverage. How very intriguing. It's nothing, really. How's the taste? The taste? The taste? You don't need to think that hard about it. I'll give it another shot. Maybe I'll figure it out with another cup. I drank every last drop, but I guess San hasn't touched hers yet. Would you like to try that one too?
Are you sure?
What? Can I really? Yeah, of course. In that case, don't mind if I do. If Metis is gonna get through this with a bad coffee addiction, she'll know what my life is like. How's it taste this time?
Let's
Much better than the first one. How? They're both brewed with the same coffee beans. It can't be that big of a difference. You can technically assign quantifiable values for comparison, but it's difficult to present the outputted data clearly. It's also unnecessary when the fact is, receiving this cup from my sister is what makes it better. Metis seems pleased with her new discovery. And with that kind of weird revelation for Metis, Metis gets the Sister Boost characteristic, yet more codependency added to her moveset. Good stuff, good stuff. Thumbs up. Attack up by 20% until end of turn when receiving a shift from Aegis. So not only does Metis get a ton of Theurgy gauge when Aegis shifts to her, she also gets a damage bonus for as long as her turn keeps going after the shift. So she's able to exploit a weakness after being shifted to. She can utilize that opportunity to still retain that 20% damage bonus. Or if she gets a critical also, same deal, same deal. So there is some value to this passive, but of course it's only useful in fights where you can actually knock down the enemy and shift over to Metis. Otherwise, like her charge condition, it is fairly useless. Nowhere near as good as Aegis's physical boost and physical amp passive, which, while a weaker damage bonus, was active all the time, so you generally got to enjoy that a lot more often. This is just kind of a novelty more than anything, but since we're using Metis pretty heavily anyway, we can still take a lot of advantage of this, especially in monad battles. This in particular should add some extra sauce to our attacks. I just wanted to hear your impressions on the flavor profile. Oh, it had a pleasant aroma, Ken, don't worry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Was it so hard to brew a good cup?
Oh, right.
The coffee was, really tasty? Well, that didn't really make Ken feel that much better, but hey, you tried. A for effort, I suppose. Okay, maybe like a B minus. C+, C+. Anyway, I think that's a good place to call it for this video, even though we didn't really do that much exploration. At least in as far as you saw. I, on the other hand, well, this is an hour and 4-minute recording. Goodness gracious. Hopefully, I keep hoping at the end of every video, we'll finally reach a point where I can just demolish the encounters and this won't take so goddamn long, but everything is a pretty nasty damage sponge in episode I guess. It's what I gotta deal with. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, though, goodbye.
I don't dispute the doubts you've outlined, but it's my right to waste your time.